Wow. 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 We are back once again to do a little bit different video. We're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage and all the confirmed details that we know so far. I am going to be splitting this up into about 5 different categories, and I'm really just going to run through all of the information that has been released through the dev diaries and the trailers. Playing as Basim is going to be a bit different than what we have been experiencing throughout the other Assassin's Creed games. In this title, there is not going to be an XP system. So we're not going to be leveling up just by running around doing random contracts and random things like that. Really gonna have to follow the storyline to progress through the game. The days of old of hacking and slashing your way into being a master assassin is over, and you're going to be doing predetermined tasks that will eventually lead to your rise through the ranks. When we jump into this game, Basim is going to start off as the typical street thief, and then we're going to work our way up through the apprentice and then also into the master rank of assassin. Now there is going to be a final stage that Basim reaches, and this is called Basim Loki. Well, Loki's going to be basically possessing Basim, and that's where we get into Valhalla and a whole bunch of other spiderwebs, so we don't really need to dive into that. Anyway, each title is pretty self-explanatory. Basim as a street thief is gonna be pretty raw, not gonna have a whole lot of skills. Basim as an apprentice, you'll probably get some more tools and some more skills to unlock. Master, you'll probably have everything unlocked, and then Basim Loki is gonna be just insane. You're gonna have that temporal type of assassination that we see where Basim's actually moving just so fast that the animus actually can't render him. So that's what I think is actually going to be seeing there, is Loki possessing Basim, and then obviously because he's a god, he can just move super quick. So there you go, you just cannot render that movement that Loki and Basim are committing. During one of the dev diaries, we did get a glimpse of the main screen, I would call it, and the tabs on the top are actually going to be tools, inventory, world, investigation, skills, and codex. And we've pretty much seen all these before in other games, but just to further break it down, the tools we have seen, so they're going to be torch, blow dart, trap, smoke bomb, throwing knives, and a noise maker. And I broke that down in my last video on Mirage. Now let's go ahead and get into the inventory. In the inventory slot here, we actually have an outfit, the outfit die, the sword, a dagger, a talisman, a costume, and then it's pretty cool, they actually show our rank. And then on the other side we actually have our bag, which is going to be just full of all the little mission things that we get. We also got a look at all the different outfits from apprentice all the way up to master, and then we got to look at the outfit die selection as well with this initiate outfit die. We did get to see other combinations of sword and dagger, and it sounds like those are going to be the only 2 kinds of main weapons we're going to be able to rock. So a dagger and a sword, just go ahead and get used to that. We're not going to be switching in for any dual swords or dual axes like Valhalla. So there was a lot of guessing around this costume category, and it has been clarified through the devs. They are saying that this is going to be more of a non-assassin outfit. It's going to be something that you would actually wear for a mission or to get into a certain area for that kind of access. I do think this is a pretty cool feature, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal for people as these talismans. Now I do believe we have seen some of these talismans and trinkets in the Prince of Persia pack, and through the dev diaries we kind of get a glimpse of one hanging from Basim's neck, but I'm really not sure if they're going to provide any type of buff. With the gameplay style that I see them trying to achieve though, I would assume this is just going to be a cosmetic feature, and you're really not going to get any type of buff for applying these. The world is going to be broken down into about 5 different locations, it sounds like. We are going to be able to visit Baghdad, of course, but then we're going to be revisiting the old assassin lair of Alamut. Then also we have the outskirts of Baghdad, and that's going to be Saqqara, Al-Basiyah, and Kar. As I looked at the modern map of Baghdad, these areas are pretty much the metropolitan of the major city itself. So back in the day, I could see us needing some travel time to get from one to the other. So that's probably why we need our horse or our camel, just the mount in general. The investigations tab is pretty clear. We've seen this in Valhalla and in Origins. It's basically just going to be our way to find out who is in the order. And then, taken them out. These skills we also got a quick glimpse at, and it looks like there's going to be 3 different categories. I'm thinking there could be more though, because we're not getting a full picture of this, but what we do know is there's going to be Phantom, which is going to be kind of like your character movements and kind of like how your character reacts. Then the Trickster is going to be your tools and all the different like multipliers you could put on for like poison or for like a health regeneration. And then you have the Predator, which is probably going to be helping you find your targets, find other assets to help you along your mission, mostly like your eagle vision and stuff like that with your bird. The codex is pretty self-explanatory. We've all seen this if we played an Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be split into 5 different categories. So we're going to have art and science, we'll have beliefs, then we'll have like the court life, the daily life of the populace, then the economy. And that's going to be about 66 different historical interactable areas throughout Baghdad. So that's pretty cool. And I feel like with this main menu, they're really sticking to the main theme for an Assassin's Creed gameplay. Mirage takes place about 861 AD, 12 years before Ivor and Basim meet for Valhalla. This is just at the outbreak of the Zan's slave rebellion led by Ali Muhammad himself, a character we have seen depicted in the trailers and on the main page of Assassin's Creed Mirage. And if that wasn't enough drama for Basim as it is, it does sound like him and Nahal are gonna have a bit of their own as well, as Basim is torn between helping his friends and joining the Brotherhood, where Abu Ja'far, Fulad, Roshan, Rebecca, and Taib are all waiting for him. The missions our friends, family, and our Brotherhood give us are going to be predetermined missions, and all are going to be in a route that are going to progress us along the storyline to unlock skills and tools. We did get a good look at the missions table in the gameplay trailer and the 3 different factions that will be supporting. And just to further speculate and break down what these factions are, I do believe the red token with all the spears is going to be the Zan's Slave Rebellion. As it's mentioned, that is the color Basim wears from that time in Valhalla, so it's all incorporated into what is actually happening during that time period with this huge rebellion of slaves. The next one I kind of want to touch on is the Feather. I really feel like these could be assassin missions, as the Order of the Feather is mentioned plenty of times throughout the trailer and then Origins as well. So this could be a token given to us by the Brotherhood. And then the last token, it looks like, is a green token and almost looks like a scholar token or some type of noble. So I would think that it's probably going to be some type of faction like that. And it sounds like each one of these tokens is going to be able to be used to access an area, like I was saying before, that we normally couldn't access with like costumes and tokens. We'll be able to access these areas to complete our missions. So basically we will hand out this token to a group of individuals that will like distract the guards or will kind of usher us into an area without being seen. Or heck, we might be able to just hire straight out mercenaries and just go to war. On the completion of these contracts though, we are going to be getting a bunch of different resources. We are going to be getting these power favor tokens in these 3 different forms. We are also going to be getting skill point tokens to be able to spend in the skill tree. And then we're also going to be getting components, Duram, fabric, and a steel ingot. Since everything is going to be a storyline progression, I'm assuming these are more so for a cosmetic unlock and to maybe buy supplies, so you can use your coins like your Duram to actually buy throwing knives, noise makers, and all that equipment. Then you would use the steel ingot to go ahead and unlock new swords and daggers, and then you would use the fabric to unlock new dyes or new outfits, I would guess, but probably the dyes. Now for the last little bit of info, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into some speculation with this, but it has been released that that being that we see in the trailer is actually considered a djinn. A djinn is like a magical, mythical being that is neither good nor bad, but it just exists here, and it has ever since the beginning of time, even before God and Allah and whoever else inhabited the earth. It's said that when Allah or God had captured the earth, that he actually enslaved these beings into exacting blood oaths and other things like that for them. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be doing Allah's bidding in this game, but there is something supernatural about this being. Now there's a bunch of different types of djinn. I mean a bunch. This in particular one seems kind of easy to narrow down. It's only coming around when there's death involved, and it seems to be a smoky rot type feature that's coming out of the ground. So it's actually my belief that this creature or being is actually an ifrit that has come to exact some type of blood vengeance on Basm and or into Basm's life in some way. I really feel like there's only one place that could host a being like this, that place being hell. Once researching an ifrit even more, I find out that they can actually be sort of hired to carry out these types of missions, and who better to write out the contract than the overlord of that domain themselves. Now we do know that Loki was able to be reborn through the Animus a lot like Odin, and being reborn into Ivor and Valhalla. Loki was actually born into Basm. But what if it wasn't actually being born into them? What if there actually had to be something that instigated such a change? Now I wonder, did Loki have any children at all? Oh, he did though, he did. Fenrir was actually one of the children that were murdered, but his sister is actually the overlord of hell. And that got me really thinking into this story and what could happen with this being and with Loki. How could they all converge onto one story? The only thing I could come up with is that maybe Loki's daughter in hell, being the overlord, hired this ifrit to find Basm and slowly possess him, so that way her father could take control over Basm to exact his blood oath revenge on Odin. I know it's really out there and super speculative, but I feel like there is something going on between this djinn and Basm and Loki. I don't feel like they're all just compartmentalized. But let me know what you think. What is this creature? What is it doing in Basm's life? And when does he get these supernatural abilities? If you like this type of content, make sure to drop a like on the video to make this thing noticeable. Subscribe to see more. And hey, as always from this channel, have a good day.